Hey guys, it's Dabs. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm excited to have you here. Continue my cloning tutorials, and this time is Elementor. Elementor is a fantastic page builder, and a lot of people don't know that it's a fantastic plugin page builder that can literally help you clone any website online. So I thought to demonstrate that in this tutorial to show you how to use this fantastic page builder to clone websites and to experiment with elementor.com landing page itself. So it's a fantastic, as you can see on my screen here, website. Fantastic, a lot of elements here and there, beautiful premium things here. We may not be able to achieve 100% results trying to use this plugin, but the intention of this tutorial is not to show you how to clone elementor.com, but to show you how to use this plugin to clone any landing page out there or any website you really do want to clone. It's a fantastic tool. We'll be working with the free plugin in this tutorial, the free Elementor plugin. However, you will get the best results using the Elementor Pro, but I'll be doing more subsequent tutorials around Elementor Pro. For us to be able to achieve this, I have a WordPress website here. I've been able to do some things on this WordPress website to make this tutorial a little bit more faster. If I come to the media now, I've been able to get all the images and also this video on the home page, and you can just easily go to any website you want to do and right click this and save the images. For elementor.com here, if you try to save the image like this, you'll be getting an AV file. So what I did was for me to use a plugin like cloudconvert.com to convert the AV file to a web page. That's how super simple and easy it can get for you to be able to get all the images on the website that you want to clone. One of the things I have done to also make things very fast is for me to create menus. So if you come to the home page here and we scroll down to the footer section here, so you can see that we have lots of all these links here. So what I did was I just created these web creation as a menu, pricing as a menu, Elementor for menu, resources, company as menu, and also our main menu here as well. So that I have been able to do. So if you come down here, I will come to appearance and we come to menus. You see all the menus here, so you can see all of them here. The thing I have also done finally is for me to create so if you come down here still, you see that we have a form here. So I installed a plugin to get that done, which is MedForm. I'll also walk you through all the plugins I've installed before now. So if you come to MedForm here and you come to form, so MedForm is an Elementor based form builder. So you can see that I have created a subscribe form here. This is not me doing the hard work already. This is just me trying to make the tutorial as fast as possible. So we can easily let's edit this with Elementor so that we can see exactly what this form looks like. So you can see this is what the form looks like. Just a very simple form. Enter your address here, email, and a subscribe button. I can easily replicate this in some few minutes by just creating maybe a container, something like this, and then I can use my Met widget just to bring in an email section here, and then I can also bring in my button, something this super easy. So I'll bring this button here just like this, super simple. Then here I can just delete the label, and then I can change my placeholder here to enter your email address. I can come to my container section here and close this gap here so that everything align. I can drag this. I can drag this to give this any length that I want. Just super easy. I can change the text, the color, and you can see how super simple it is to do this. So this is not really much of a big deal, and you can save the form. So that's all the things. So let's leave this. So these are the things I have done. So for the purpose of this example, I have installed Hello Elementor as a theme for this. I also have a few plugins that have been installed here. So let me walk you through them, and you see exactly what we have. So I have Elementor installed definitely to do the tutorials, and Elementor header and footer. This plugin will help us create headers and footers for our website, so that we don't have to place that header and footer on every page of the website. It doesn't really make sense. So it's better we create them somewhere and then display them generally everywhere on the website. So that you would not need to use a plugin like that to do this if you're using Elementor Pro. But just because you're not using Elementor Pro, so I use another free plugin to be able to do that, because that's very, very critical. And we definitely met form. I've told you the format creator we did, and SVG support here, because some of the images on this website are SVG. So I installed that plugin so that I'll be able to import SVGs into WordPress. So that's it for all the active plugins that are here. So that's everything I've done. I believe this is super simple and easy. So let's go straight into this. The first thing we should do here to clone this page is for us to design our header and also our footer. And that's literally very simple. So it means we're going to be using this plugin here, Elementor header and footer. So I can easily just go to settings from here. I can come to appearance and I can come to Elementor header and footer. Either way, I'll get the same place. So right now we don't have anything here, so I will just want to add new, and I can just call this header. Super simple, nothing complex. And then I can call this a header template, so I can display this on all pages. You may want to display this header on certain pages. That's literally up to you. For the purpose of this example, let's leave this as all pages, and I can select user roles or whatever I want to do with it. That's literally up to you. I can just publish this header. You see, I have another function here to enable this layout for Elementor Canvas template alone. In case you want to create different layout for Elementor Canvas, you just want this to be header for every of your Elementor pages alone. That's literally up to you. You can walk around with that, but that's outside of what we want to look at in the tutorial. So let's edit this with Elementor. Alright, so we now have Elementor Canvas here now for us to design our header. So if you come back to the front end here, so you can see that we have the logo, we have the menu, and we have two buttons here. But just because this button here has a background color, I would just want to create a different container for this, and another container for this, another container for this, and also for the logo. So that means that we can have 4 different containers. And by the way, for the menu, I didn't create sub menus like this, so this is outside of the scope of this tutorial. Definitely a lot of CS customization has gone into having this kind of drop down and this kind of designs here. Maybe we'll look at that in another tutorial, definitely not this tutorial. All right, so let's continue. So let's come down here and let's create a container. So something like this. Be good. We have to make this full width and not boxed. Before we start bringing a container inside of this container, we want to set a minimum height for this, and this is very, very, very important to do. So I might just want to give this the height of 80, so I can come to the minimum height here and give this 80. That's very, very critical, and we have to note the height we're using here, because we will need to make this header transparent so that it carries the same picture on every page. That's very, very important. So let's continue the tutorial. So now we can begin to bring in containers inside of this container. So we said we want to have 4. So let's bring in the first one, so we can just easily duplicate this to replicate the amount of containers that we want. So we have 4 containers already. So the first thing is our logo. Definitely a simple image can do that trick for us. So now let's bring in our Elementor logo here. And then we can scale this logo to fit. So I will not be doing any measurements to know the actual size. Like if I come down here, like I told you, the intention is not to show you how to clone Elementor landing page or how things are done. There are a lot of Chrome extensions here that can be useful to help you get certain things done, and I think subsequently I will walk you through all of that, and then I can just drag all of this to suit my style. So the next thing we have here is a menu, so I can just search for a menu, So we have a navigation menu here, so I can bring that. I can change this from company. I can just select the Elementor header. So you can see that is something similar to this. So that's it. And then the next thing we have here is a button login and get started. So to be able to do that, I would want to bring in a button here, and this button can just be called login. And then we can style this button. We can make the background, we can take that background color, we can just make it transparent. That will be good for this. And we can make our text color black, I think so. That's it. Okay, and for this container here, I want to put this at the end, something like that. So that's it. So for this here right now, since it has a background color, I would definitely want to pick this background color. So I have a Chrome extension that does that for me. This Chrome extension is called the color picker eyedropper. So it will help you just find colors here and there. So you can search for this Chrome extension called color pick eyedropper and install it. Is a very fantastic extension. So this is the color right now. I can come back here, and then for the container here, I can just come to the style and I can come to my background, and then I can just put that color here. So you can see I have that now, and then I can then add my button right into the container. So the button says get started. Right. So I can also take the background out and make this transparent. Right. And for our container, I might just want to display this somewhere in the middle, something like that. And I might also want to adjust this a little like this. All right, good, good, good. So now let's see what we have. Fantastic. We have our menu ready. I won't want to style this using the same font, using the same. You can style all of those things by yourself. So I just need you to get exactly how this is done. But one thing I notice here is that we have this aligned to the top here and to the right here. So I might just play around with our padding to be able to achieve that. So for our container here, I'll click this and then I can come to my style. No, I can come to advanced and I can just click this, and for my top I can do -20. Maybe that's too much. Let's do -10. Good. And for my right I can do -10 too as well. So this is still 20. Let's do 10. So let's check this. So you can see this is aligning exactly how we want it. You may want to reduce the size and this may not be aligning to properly, so we may also want to change the alignment. Since it's somewhere in the middle before, maybe I can just do center. So you can see that is now at the center. So bingo, you can see our header is ready. So this is how super simple it is for us to create our header. So once this is done, we can update this. All right, so now let's exit this. So we can come back to appearance and still come back here since we are building our header and our footer. So we can see that we have our header already created. So the next thing we can do is to create our footer. So now let's add new again and let's call this footer. So we're going to come to template and we're going to change this to footer, and then want to display this on all pages exactly again, and then we're going to publish this, and then we are going to edit this as well with Elementor. So that's it. So we have another canvas here for us to be able to create our footer. First off, let's come here and let's see exactly what our footer exactly look like so that we don't miss out on anything. It's a very, very heavy footer here. Let's close. Okay, I think I need to get the color, the background color of this. So now let's copy the background color and then I can close this. Yeah, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good. All right, so let's come back here and let's also create another container and let's make this full width again. So let's come to style, let's change the background color to the color we copied. Good. And then we can begin to bring in new containers in this. So let's drag this container here, and then as usual, let's duplicate this container till we have 5 of them. Great, so we now have 5 containers here right now, so that's good. So the first thing we want to display here is our menu here called web creation. So now I can just easily click in here and I can use my menu. I can change this to web creation. So I have the list of my menu here. I want to style this a little, and then I want to play around with my typography, and we can come back here. Ideally, if we wanted to create a full website, what I would have advised that we do is for us to set our global font colors and all those things so that it's easier for us to have a centralized color. I'm not doing that because we're just experimenting with a landing page. So I need to find this font here and the size. So I have another Chrome extension that will do that for me. Is called what font. So you can go to Chrome extension and type what font. And if you do that, you can just come to any font at all. So you can see just hovering around it, I can see that this is DM Sans. And I can open this up to see that it's size 14, line height is 38, the color is white, and the weight is 400. So let's play with that 1438. So I can come to change this to DM, change this to DM Sans, size is 14, weight is 400, my line height is 32. That's crazily high. I might just want to take this out. Okay, let's leave this as default. And then the color, I need to change the color to white. Good. That's it. And then I want to put a title to this, something like that. So my title says web creation. I need to find, so I need to exit this. I need to find what color this is. So I'll use my color picker as well. Find the color of this. Okay. I can copy this. I can close this. Come back here. This is web creation. I can change this color to the color here, right? I'm supposed to even find the font and also the size. So I still use that tool as well to get this. So you can see this is a different font entirely. This is a premium font. We might not be able to get this, but the size is 16, the weight is 400, the line height is 24, 16, 400. So we might want to come to a typography, and then we want to use something different. Let's just use DM Sheriff text. I'll use this in replacement for that we don't have. So if I want to call this thing, but this is a little bit small, I can just play around with something. Maybe like this. Okay, let's make it 22. And I think this is good. I might want to add some little padding here so that it starts on the same line with this text here. So before we even do that, let's check exactly what we have. Oh, so you can see our menu here is displaying horizontally instead of vertically, but we can solve that problem. Let's come back to our menu here and let's come to our layout. Okay, so this is horizontal. Let's make this vertical. And now let's see what we have. So okay, you can see, but like I said, I want to make this start on the same line with this, so I might just want to add some little padding at the left hand for this. So I can just come to this, I can come to settings here, come to left here, 20, too much, 10, good. This is good. So we can use this. This is good enough for us to use. So we are replicating this here. So let's continue with this. So what I can do is for me to duplicate this. So let's duplicate this, and then let's delete one of this. So we come back here. What we have here is now pricing and Elementor 4. Let's come out here. So now we can duplicate this, and then I can bring that down here. We can also duplicate these two as well. I can bring that down here. Good. So now I can change this to Elementor 4. And then I can change this to Elementor 4. So I can add some spacing in between this. So that's good. And there's also good spacing in between all of these two as well, which we should also put into this. All right, so that's good for these right now. So we can view this. This is not bad to what we have here. So the next thing we have here is resources. So now let's continue and then close this up, and then I can duplicate this entire container as well. Like so I can delete this. So I have another one here. So this is resources. So I can change this. And then I can change my menu to resources. Good. And then finally here we have company. I can literally duplicate this again. Then I can delete this. Change this to company. And then I can change this to company as the menu. That's it. And then finally here we have Elementor logo text here. Subscribe to our newsletter. Let's see if we can replicate that right now. I'll copy this text. I'll come back here. So for us to start this one here, we need to bring in an image here for our logo. So we're going to bring that in here, and then we can change that to our Elementor logo. This logo here has the same color, so I think I need to have a different logo for this. These logos here displayed on the Elementor page here are SVGs. They are difficult for us to get from the website here, but let's try and see Google. Maybe we can find it. Elementor logo. Come to our images. We want the pink one. Okay. So I think we have the logo here. So this is the logo. We can just save this. All right. So now let's come back here and let's change this to what we just downloaded. All right. Good. 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 We can reduce the size of that. Really, can just scale that down a little. Something like this is good. Let's just make it 65. All right. Good. So we can bring this our navigator somewhere here. Always a very useful tool too as well. So the next thing we want to do is to bring in our text. Let's do a text editor here, and then we can paste our text here. We need to change, we need to style that, we need to make this white, and then let's find out the font. So check this out, DM Sans 1422 400. All right, so that's it. So the next thing here is subscribe to our newsletter, then our form. So let's come back here. Let's copy this. Let's paste that here. Let's change that to subscribe to our newsletter. And the next thing we have is our form. So we need to use a short code for that. So let's type in short code. Then let's bring the short code here. Let's exit this new tab so that we can find our short code. So let's come to our med forms. And then I can copy this short code here to display our form here. So our form is ready. So let's even see what this form looks like right now. So beautiful. Exactly what we have here. That's good. And then we have another text here, so we can copy this too as well. And then we can just duplicate this. And we can drag that down. Paste that here. Since the text and color here needs to be white and bold, so it's taking this, so I can literally change this color here. Yeah, more like that. So leave that as is. So the next thing here is social icons, then our copyright. So let's come down here, let's search for social icons. And for our copyright, I think I need to duplicate this, and then I can bring that down. I can just change the text entirely like this. So for our social icons, quite a number of icons here. I'm not sure if this is able to do that, but let's see. So we can add more icons, but let's come to styling first. Official color, we want to use custom colors. They are all white. Primary color should be, that should be transparent. Secondary color is white already, and I think that's good enough. So we can just add other, we have WordPress, we have GitHub, and just add something more. Yeah, WordPress is here, so let's add more again. So the WordPress now, let's change this to GitHub, right? So we can change the size of the front. Comes to play with font here. Something more like this. We can reduce it, we can increase it, we can add more as much as we want to. Let's view this. Uh, this is good. So what we can do is to adjust the sizes here, because this, I think this one here needs to have more spacing, and then we can add some margins here and there. So we can see there's space here, there's space here, and we can make this a little bigger so that we can accommodate for this text here. So those are the things we need to do right now. Okay, so now this is good. So I can still add a little bit of margin here and there. Let's come back here. Let's come to advanced, and then we can just do maybe 20 right and left. Let's see if that gives us that little space. Maybe not much of that, but I will just leave this as is right now. I really don't want to waste so much time. But if you come down here too as well, we can see that there's still some space here beneath this, so we may still want to give that spacing. But I think we should still maybe adjust with the spacing for each of the text here. I think they are much, so this space is not that much. So yeah, this is much. So this can be styled further, but I really don't want to waste so much time. I don't want this tutorial to be very, very boring. For bottom, let's do like 100 in terms of margin to give it space down there. And I think I'm just done with this right now. So I'll publish this, and that's it. So this can be styled further. Even the link colors, we don't have that here, but I'm not really trying to mess around with colors or text, all of that right now. So that's going to take so much of our time. So let's exit this. So I think we are done replicating our footer menu. So what we can do right now is to come to pages, and let's come to add new, for us to create a new page so that we can see our header and our footer and see what. So for this, we can just call this home page just for tutorial purpose. So the template, I want to change this to Elementor full width, and then I can publish this page. Let's view this page in a new tab, and let's see what we have. So you can see what we have here is just our Elementor header and then our footer. So we want to add, how you can see, this still needs some margin or padding around here. Even the header too as well should have some space. Okay, same thing here. Oh, there's a lot of space here as well as beneath here. So those are the things that we can still adjust, but I would not want to spend time doing that. I believe you can really figure that out. That's not really much of a big deal, really. So now let's bring in content in between. So let's edit this page with Elementor, and then we can leave this as is. There's no big deal. So leave this. All right, so we now have an Elementor canvas here where we can bring in our content in between the header and the footer. So if we come down here, in between our header and our footer, quite a huge page here. So we can start with this. So this, we have a new canvas here that has a text, a call to action here, a button, and also a video, right? Okay, so let's come back to our page here, and then let's create a container. For the purpose of this example, this container should go down. Let's make this container full width. That's good. And then we need to check the color. This is the color of the background here. So I using this same Chrome extension here to pick the color, and then I can copy this color. Come back here. I can start the background with the same color. Good. And then the first thing we have there is an heading. So let's look for heading widget here. Bring that in here. Uh, let's come here. Let's close this up. Let's copy this here. Let's paste that here. Super simple and easy. So let's come to style. Let's make this central. So now let's check what font we're using here. This is a premium font, obviously, like I mentioned earlier. So you won't find this font. It's called Eva Headline. Is a paid font. You may need to pay to have this. It's not free. So like I used for our footer, we're going to use something just similar to achieve this. So let's come back. Let's just use DM Sheriff text for this purpose. And then let's also use this tool to find the weight is 700, size is 72, height is 86. So now let's 72, weight is 700, and let's use a height. All right, so the color here is black, so I just want to drag this to black, right? So what we can do for this text is that two ways we can align this text center. So as you can see here, we can just easily use a code here, a break code, and just write break. So you see that will break that down, and we can just easily maybe adjust the margin, the size to compress it to center. Either way will work fine for this, but I will just leave this as is since this has been able to solve the problem for us. So the next thing we have there should be a text and also a button. So let's come up here and let's come to text. So let's come here. So the size for this is 2032 400. So let's come up here. From typography, that's DM Sans 20. Let's just keep this center. That's it. For the color is black too as well. So all right. So next thing we have is our button. So I'm gonna bring that in here. So let's bring this to the center. Let's call this get started. Let's check this DM SAS size 18 500. So that's it. This is good. So let's get the color. Let's edit this font and then let's come to color here. Now assuming anything, let's copy the exact color here. All right, that's it. So now we need to add some spacing for this container. So let's come to advanced. For my padding, I might want to do 180 above, and below I might just want to do like 400. All right. This is it. This is good. We are coming up. So you can see here that this menu here is not picking the color here. I mentioned that earlier. We're going to solve that problem later on when we are done designing this page. So you can see we are coming up with this. So let's create a new container now that should carry a video. So this video here. So we have video here. So let's come back and then let's create a new container. Come down. Let's just bring in video in this. So we have a video here. I just want to change this from YouTube to self-hosted, and then I may want to choose my file here. Since I have the file hosted here already, this is the video here. Good. Select that. The video is coming up. I don't know why that is taking time, but let's come to video options here. We want this video to autoplay like we see on that. We want to play this on mobile. Yes, we do. Mute, maybe yes. Loop, yes. Show control, no, we don't want that. Download button, hide that. That's good enough for this video. So we have a video here already. So what we want to do is to drag this video up a little. So just like we have here. So you can see that this video is coming up here. So I might just want to add some spacing up there. So from here, I can just use my margin. I can do minus, let's say 300. All right. So let's see what we have. So you can see we have a video here explained just like we have on our home page. This is beautiful. All right. Good stuff. So now let's continue the tutorial. What do we have next here? So we have this text here. So let's come down. Let's create a new container for this. Let's take this. And then let's bring in new container. Let's duplicate this. So we have 3. All right, so we have 3 containers here. So let's come back here. We can see that we just have a title and then a text. So we've copied this title. So let's come back here. For us to be able to achieve this, we can literally just bring the heading and the text here and then style that. We can also as well use something like, let's close Pro since we're not using anything Pro. Maybe an image box, something like this might work for these two as well, since it has. We can just literally delete the image away. So we have heading and a text here. So we can style this in the same place. This makes sense, right? So now let's paste a title here. And let's come back here. Let's copy this. And let's come back here. Let's paste that here. So now we can style this right now. So come to style and then alignment. Let's have it to the right, which is good. And for our content, now let's style this properly now. So we need to change the text and the size for this. So let's come back here. And then let's use our font finder. We can come down here. So you can see it's still text. So we're going to use 728. And this one is 2016. Right? Align height is 28. That's good. So that's it for typography. Let's come to a description. The color should be black still. I'm not sure, but I'll just work with black. And then I can do my typography to be the same thing we have been using, DM Sans. Yeah, the size is 16. Front is 400, which is good, and the line is 26. Good. So that's it. We've been able to replicate the same thing there, so we can just easily duplicate this into 3, and then we can delete this. That's it. So we can then now copy and paste our text here. So exit this, copy this now. Fantastic. So we have this done. So now I can check this so we can see this is good, good, good. Isn't this amazing? So let's continue this tutorial. This thing just looks so simple to do, really. You just need to understand the basic concept, and then you can easily replicate any page whatsoever online, really. So now let's continue. So it's getting more complex now. We have, and there's an animation here, really. Maybe I should reload this page so that we can see that animation. So you can see it's blank, and then you can see the animation. This is good. Um, these things here are SVGs, and they are premium SVGs. Unfortunately, I will not be able to replicate these SVGs. They are premium. So if the website you're using uses SVG, you might also want to maybe pay for that online, and then you can use it to replicate the same thing. You may also just want to use something relatively close. So I'll just be using general free icons, so you can style them appropriately. So I really don't want to waste so much time trying to do that. Let's see how we can create something like this. So now let's use another container. This time around, it should be going sideways too as well. Am I supposed to make this full width? No, I don't think so. Let's not make this full width. Let's make this. So I'll bring in sub containers. Okay. And then I'll duplicate this. Good. So the first thing we want to do here is let's first work with our text here. We have a text, we have a title, we have a header here, we have a text, and then we have icons here and a button. So now let's copy this text here. For the icon now, I think we might need to bring in another container. So let's see what we can do with that. So for this container now, we can also bring in new containers too as well. And then this we can duplicate. So we now have two now. So we can bring in our icon list. So I'll just be using these for this example since we are not able to replicate our SVGs, which is okay. That's it. So the last thing we're bringing in here is our button. Good. So now we can copy text from here, blazing fast loading websites. So I want to replicate that here. So we may also just want to find maybe an icon that can replace for what is there, but we have free icons here. That's an SVG, is specifically designed for this. So that's some premium stuff. So let's just look for anything random to use here. Anything random basically will do for this purpose. So I'm not even sure I want to start labeling all of this text. It will take so much of our time, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. So let's just style this to see how we can make it look like this as much as possible. So now let's come to our front. Now finder, let's try to find this. Is the same header we have been using since 48 758. Maybe I should copy this and let's paste the style, and then let's change this. And then we can come back to our text. DM sans 1626. The color is not black, is a little bit different here. This is 2121. So in your case, copy your text colors. I'm not sure I want to focus more on that. So maybe I should just paste that here first. This is our text color, which is good. Typography right now. So let's go back. For the text here too as well, DM sans. This is black right now. This is 1420 700 width. So let's do that to start this. Our text color is black. Definitely that's 0. It's good. So for our icon, you can see we have some spacing here. I might not be able to replicate the exact same thing there because we are limited with the free version here in terms of styling. So, but let's come to icon. Let's see what we can do. Colors. We don't have the option for background. I think this is black. I just have to leave this as black, really. That's it for this. Or I should just make this a little bit ash. At least it should reflect what we have there a little bit differently. Maybe something like this would be good. And then I can just copy this, and then I can paste my style here. Paste style. So we have that here. So that's it. So the last thing here is our button. C plans arrow. Then when you hover around it, it becomes blue and white. So let's see if we can replicate that. So we have an icon. Let's type arrow. This. Let's set this. This is before, so we can make this after. And we can add some space. So this is where we need to start this button. So let's check the color. This blue here. So let's use this. So the text is blue, the arrow is blue, the border is blue. So that's good. So let's come to style. We'll come to typography in a bit. So let's come to text color. Text color is white. It's supposed to be blue when it's normal. So we're going to change that to blue. Background, we want to leave our background color to be transparent. That will be good for this example. And then our border, we want to make this solid. Right. So let's change the width to 1. I think 2 is a little bit too heavy. All right, that's more like it. So once we hover on this right now, our text color should now be white. Right. Background color should now be blue. So I'm going to paste a blue color here. Let's see. So this is good. So the border too should be blue. All right. This is good. So now let's come back here and let's close this. Come to the front. 1848, weight is 500. So let's come to our typography. Line height is 48. Oh my goodness, I think this is a little big. So maybe we should do 38. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's still big. Let's do 28. Something like this. All right. So see, we are almost there. And then we need to put some spacing here. So let's just do margin for top. Let's just say 100. Good. So let's come to the container here. Let's come to the background and let's try to put a color here. All right. So for this one, we may want to maybe play with some margin or padding. So let's do margin first. Let's do maybe 40. Let's play with margin and let's play with our margin and let's do this. And then from the left here, let's just do maybe 40. And then for the right as well, let's do like 40 as well. So let's see what we have. Okay, maybe something somewhere around there. I think we might just need to maybe play with the minimum height. Let's just give this, let's say 500. Maybe something like this is good, right? Okay, so something like this is good. So what we want to do right now is to see this. We have images inside of this. So the first is, let's close this image here, and then we're going to bring all the other images. So let's come here and then let's bring in an image. So first off here, for this box here, let's bring everything to the center. Good. And then for our image here, let's center this to the right. And also here, I think I might want to take out this. So I'll play with the width of this a little. Let's just make this 80. All right. So for the container here, I can come down here. So I already have a margin on my left. So let's just take this out. Okay. So now you can see we have this full width aligned to the right now, just like we have here for this. So now let's come back here. Let's come to the image. Let's bring in our image right now. I already have that image here. Good. That's it for that. So for this, now we have another image here. We have another image here. We have another image here. Another one here. So now let's try to see what we can do with those images. I think this is obstructing our view. So let's take this away. Or maybe we should just close this entirely since we're not using it for now. So now let's come to the element here. Let's bring in another image anywhere here. And then let's make this, and then let's select this. So you can see we have this image here. But what we can do for this image here is to come to advanced, and then let's come to our position here. Let's make this absolute. So we have this image as absolute. So now we can drag this image anywhere we want to use this image. We can shape this image to whatever we want. So I can easily make this smaller and bring this maybe somewhere here. You need to be very careful when you are working with absolute image because it will not be responsive. So you need to go into every of the views, maybe the tab views, the mobile view, to make sure that this element is aligning correctly. And this is very, very important because it is an absolute image. So let's close this to see exactly what it looks like. I think something more like this from this. So this is good. So let's continue with this. We are still going to bring in another image right now in these two as well. So let's do same thing we did earlier, and then let's change this image to this. So what we will do with these two as well is to make these also absolute, right? So now we can move this image, scale it up or down to our convenience, and we can take it anywhere we want on the website. This is beautiful. So we're going to bring that somewhere here. I think we can still scale this down a little and come down a little more, something like this. So now let's do bring in more images somewhere down here. So let's play with this. So what we're going to do is to make this also absolute, and then we can move this around. We can resize this to our style, something like that, and we can bring that somewhere here, and then we can do another image for the last time. For the last one here. So let's make this absolute as well. So we can drag this. All right. So something like this is exactly what we have here. So you can see. So this is it. Uh, and now since we have this, we can let's view this up to see that this is aligning properly. So we can see this is good. So now we can then try to put the animation to all of the images. So now we may need to check this. We can inspect this for us to see the exact animation that this is using. So for example, if we try to inspect this, so we can come down here. Let's click on this. So selecting this element here right now. So you can see here, slide in down. So if you check on all the elements, you should be able to see. So this has a delay, slide in left apparently. I think this one should be slide in up. So you can see this one is sliding it up. It has a delay of 100 too as well. And so you can play around with all of those. This right now will slide in down, slide in left, slide in up. And I think the last one here is this. So this one is just fade in and it delays for 200. So this is good. So let's go back and let's try to put all this animation to all this. So let's start this. This right now, let's come to advanced. Let's come to motion. This entrance animation, this would fade in. You can add the seconds here. I think this is 200. Want that. So this is slide in down, if I'm not mistaken. So we can come to motion effect. We can come to slide in down. So it will slide in down like that. So I think this has like about 100, if I'm not mistaken, but this is bounce. It should slide, not bounce. slide in down, something like that. So I'm not sure I can keep up with the delay seconds, but we can just keep playing. This one should slide in from the left, something like this, and this should slide in from sliding up. So let's come to motions. Something like this. That's it. We are done for this. So you can see this is good. Maybe for this, maybe we should just add some. So for top here, I can just do bottom too as well. Let's do 100 for bottom, so I have some space to breathe down there. So if I check this full width, so if we check this page when we are done, you should be able to see all those animation. And I think this space here is a little bit ugly. If I So you can see they don't have that much space here, so we can play around with all of that to add text. And I think this is a little bit clumsy too as well, so there's a little bit of spacing here, so it's not really making this look good. So maybe we should just correct that in a bit. Space in between, so you can see we can play with this, something like this. I'll copy this right now, paste that. And for these as well, I can just take away this so that this would align a little bit more, and I think this is good. I'm just gonna leave this as is, but sure we understand what that is. So the next thing here is this. So we have a title, a text, and then we have this here. All right, so let's see how we can replicate this real quick. For a title, I think I should copy this text. I can come down here. I can see. Okay, let's do this. Maybe I should just copy this. Let's paste that here. So let's come back. Let me copy this. Let's come to style. Let's put this in the middle, and then for our text, I think I can copy this too as well, and then I can paste that here. All right, so let's come down here. Let's copy this. Let's paste that here, and then let's bring this to the center. So we would be styling this appropriately later, so let's leave this as is. So the next thing we want to do is now for us to bring in this vertical accordion. I don't know how this was created, but we can play with whatever we have here. So let's do a new container entirely. Okay, so now let's see what element can fit this. From our basic element, apparently nothing here. So from our general element, I think the best thing that can suit that would be our tabs. Let's use tabs to see if we can replicate the same thing. This tab is vertical. Let's make it horizontal. It won't be a little bit clean, but we can manage with this. So it has, let's see what this is in. So it has this. Let's take away that border. So let's come to style. So border width, let's keep this at 0. So let's see what we have right now. If all those border is gone, it's gone. I think this is good. So let's play around with this. So let's come back to contents now. For tab 1, we would have some limitation here, and the limitation we would have is that we would not be able to add this text here. That's the limitation for using this tab. If we're using Elementor Pro, it's easier. I would have designed this as a template and I would just display that template as a dynamic content inside our accordion, and we'll be able to replicate this exactly. But let's experiment with this and see. Let's experiment. Let's see what we have. Business and services. So let's come here. Let's change this from tab 1 to business and services. So instead of having this text here, let's take away this text and let's bring in this image here. So let's just add this image. You can see that we have an option to add image here, and let's look for that same image. Unfortunately, I left these images out. So let me just upload those images to my media library real quick. So I have all these images uploaded right now, so we can continue. I will just select this and then I would insert this. I must have selected all of them, so I can delete them. Okay, down to this. Since we're using this, this, delete this as well. So I have this here. So you can see that this image is not showing how we want it. So let's edit this image, and then from the size, let's make this full width. So we can see we have it bigger now. Let's update this. So right now you can see we have this here. This is good. All right. So this is it for the first one here, and this is literally very simple to do. So let's do the second one as well. So the second one is portfolio and CV. So let's type that. We can't copy that, unfortunately. Portfolio CV. So now let's take away this. Media, and then let's bring this. Let's edit this image. Let's make it full size, and then let's update this. You can see how super simple and easy it is to do this, so that I won't waste so much time. Just watch me while I do this. This just needs your creativity. So let's do this. Fantastic. So you can see we are done with this. We just may need to style our text here and a title here, so that we have the exact same thing we have there. Maybe not the exact, because we are not able to give this the text. So that will just be the basic difference. Right now, let's try to style this. So let's see. We have our same front here. This one is 48, 58. So let's see if this is the same thing. 48, 58. This is good. So let's come to the next one here. DM says this is 20, 32, and the color is 2121. I'll leave the way it is. So this is 20. Maybe this should be 32. Second. So we're gonna leave that as is. So for this now, we can come here. This is 24, 36. And when you hover around this, the color changes to this. Let's come to our tab. I think the height here is now crazy, so I might just want to reduce this to suit. Maybe something like this would be perfect. So for our color, I might just want to make this black. And then when we over on this, we'll get this color. Let's copy that. And then let's come back here and let's paste our color here. Good. So now we have this here. So do this, do this. So you can see this is not aligning on a straight line. We may want to give more spacing for that. So you can see. So I don't know if we can change that here, but let's check. For our tab, navigation width. So let's increase this. So you can see, you can change this here. All right. I think 30 is perfect. So let's come back here. So you can see we have this here. This is beautiful. This is perfect. Maybe not 100% perfect because we're not able to generate the text, but this is good. So let's continue. So that's what we're able to do. So we have this here. So for us to be able to do this, we're going to create another container as usual for us to continue. So let's create a container. Let's keep this. And let's make this full width. All right, so let's bring another container into this. And then we're going to duplicate this as usual into 3. I just duplicate this into 3 just for us to have a pictorial view of what we are trying to customize. That's good, so that once I'm done customizing it, I can then replace it with the containers. So that's why I do this, really. So you can feel it's stupid. Why am I creating 3 first? While I'm still not going to use this, because I'm going to duplicate whatever I do here first to replace the remaining 3. So that's the reason for that. So now we have an image first. So let's come back to basic. Let's do image first. Let's come back. Let's do heading next. Let's come back here. Let's do text next. I think that's what we have there, really. Image, text. All right. So let's come back here. So for our image, I hope I have that image on here. Okay, I do. So that's it. So now the reason why I'm not using the image box or icon, let's even check this. The reason why I'm not using this image box here is because I have to have 100% control over how to display my images. This would limit me in some ways, so that's why I'm doing this directly. So now let's come back to this. We may want to style this, maybe reduce the size. And make it full. For image, come to style. I might want to put it at the left, just like we have there, and I can just increase the width to, let's just say 50, right? So something like this. Maybe 50 is too big. Maybe let's copy the text here. I can style this color. Let's make this black, and let's use the text DM San Sharif, and let's see the size we have here. We have 16, 24, 100. This looks smaller in a way. I think that's me. It looks smaller since we're not using the same we are not using same front, so we might not be able to replicate the same thing. So I just want to increase this to 18 and maybe increase this to 600. I think this is a little bit close to what we have here, and this is good. So I'll copy this right now. This is 1624 400 as usual. All right, now this is good. So I think this is exactly what we want to create. So now I can literally duplicate this page right now. So I can delete this. Good. So now I just need to replace my images. I need to replace my images and my text. I think I missed this last image here as well. I might have to upload that too as well. Okay, so I can select this right now. So I have this image here. So I can come back here. I can copy this. Super simple and easy, right? You would agree with me. So this, but you can see that we need to add some margin and spacing to this. This is full width, but whereas this is not. So I can come back here and then I can just literally change this from 100%. I can just do maybe like 80. Let's see. Maybe that's too much. Maybe we should just do like 90. All right, I think this should be perfect. Good. Exactly what we want to do. This is good. So we need to add some margin below. Very important. So below I can just do like 100. That's good. So now the next thing we have here is a testimonial. All right, so we can come back here and let's create a new container for this. This should come down and let's make this full width. Good. I think I should add a minimum height to this. Let's say maybe 600. Let's say 645. And then we need to replace this color here. Let's find this color. So let's come to a background color here and let's change this. Good. So we have something like this that we want to work with. So now I need to bring in another container. Maybe I should change this from coming down. I can change this. Okay, since we want to add two containers so that they go sideways. So I bring in a new container here and then I can duplicate this container. So we have two containers inside of this. This is good. So the first container apparently is an image. So I'll bring in an image here. For my container here, I want to bring this to the center. Let's centralize this too. Let's go to image. Let's try to bring in image something like this. Okay, we are getting there. So let's check this. This looks somehow very big, so we might want to reduce that a little. So for this container, I might want to reduce the size to maybe somewhere around 500 or 550 pixels. So that should reduce that size a little. Something close, exactly something really very close. So the next thing we want to do here is to bring in this first. So this is an SVG as well. You may want to find an image or an SVG like this online and bring this, but I will just use whatever code I find in Elementor free library here. It may not be the same, but it should be something close. So I'll copy this and then I'll come back here. So I'll style this appropriately when I'm done, but first let's just work with this here. So the first thing I want to do here is an icon. Yeah, let's bring in an icon here. So we have star. Let's search for quote. This, so you can see this is a little bit different from the one we have there, but that's fine. We'll manage with that. So now let's bring in a text. This is not, you can see that this is a different font from this, so we're going to use another text entirely for this. For this, let's just duplicate this, and now let's do this. Let's duplicate this again. Let's copy this. Let's bring that here. Good. So we have this working. So for this now, let's start this. Let's bring this sideways. This is color white apparently, so we're gonna change this to white. We can change the size too as well in case we want. That's it for this for me. For this container here, I want to bring all of this to the center. That's good. And then for my text here, I may just want to, let's see if I can copy this. Definitely not. So let's check this. This is not a title. This is DM Sans 2842. So now let's style this. So we want to change this to white. So apparently, okay. So we can copy this here. Let's copy and let's paste style here. Okay, so this is good. So we may just want to change this to white. All right, so I hope it's the same. Okay, so what's the size for this? This is 20. Okay. What's the size for this as well? This is 22. That's good. So all right, so now let's change this to white. So let's change this to 20. Two. So we might want to play with margin top. Let's just do like minus 20 or maybe 30. All right. This is good. All right, so we are done with this. So the next thing here is to create this blog section here. This is a little bit crazy. All right, so let's see what we can do with this. So let's create a new container entirely, and let's give this some margin 100 as usual. Stick to 100. Okay, for this, let's bring in new container and let's duplicate this. to be 2. All right. So for this one now, we have this text here. We have this 3 text here, and then we have this other blog development or whatever. So let's design this first quickly. So let's come here. Let's just copy and paste to make things faster for us. So I'll paste this here. I'll copy these two as well. I'll paste this here too. I'll paste this again. Okay, good. So we have 3. So I can just copy this resources and skills. So this is 1624. I can paste that here. So let's scale that to the right. This is 16. This is 24. Let's see the width. The width is 400. That's good. It's normal. 400 normal. But I think this is a little bit more bold here. Let's see. This looks bold here, but this isn't bold. Maybe we should just make our own 600. All right. So to give it that effect. So that's it. So we can drag this up here. Good. So the next thing we have here is elevate your skills. Let's copy this. This is 1624. Can paste that here. Let's come to start. Let's make this on the left. Let's make this 16. Okay, this is different. So this is 4858. Really, it's great. I was worried. 4858. I think this is good. So finally, I can copy this. So you can see this is another text entirely, but we're gonna leave it the way it is. 1624. It's good. All right. So I think we're gonna leave this as is. So we've been able to replicate this here, which is good enough. So now the next thing is for us to create whatever we have in here, which is good. But I think I would want to give this more space because this look a little bit right. So let's make it something like this. All right. So for this container now, we may just need to bring in new containers. So let's bring in 2 new containers. Let's duplicate. This container here needs to be something like this. Let's take this out. 100%. This is good. So now let's bring in this here. So we have an image, we have a text, we have this text and a button. Okay, so let's bring in an image. Let's copy this. Paste that here. Let's copy this. Paste that here. And then let's do a button. Good. So now let's come back here. So this is blog. I'm gonna copy this. So let's find this image first. This one we can't get our image to load. Might be. Is it not something? Maybe I should just have to update this page first. So let's try again. If this doesn't work, we have to refresh the page. This is just taking time, so I think I have to close this up and then let's refresh this page again. Okay, good. So we have our page refresh. So let's come down here. So you can see some of the things I worked out here is looking out. This is not aligning properly. We have to correct this. Maybe I should correct that right now before we even continue. Let me even view this full screen so you can see the alignment issue is quite obvious. And then I can come to my star here and then maybe add some padding to this. So let's make this from the left, let's do 40, and from the right, let's do 40. Let's see if this will solve this problem. Not so much, so let's increase the padding. So let's do like 80 here, like 80 here. All right, so this is good. This is good, 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 good. We might just want to maybe increase this to like 100. All right, so we have fantastic. So this is exactly what I'm hoping to achieve with this. So this is good. So now let's continue with our image here right now. So let's come to our image and let's open this up. Okay, now we have our image here. I think this is what we are looking out for. It's good. Let's come back here. Let's see. This is blog. Let's copy this. Let's paste that here. Let's copy this text here. I'll get to style this later. Can just be cumbersome and worrisome. Okay, so for our button here, explore more. Let's change this. So we have an icon arrow in front. So let's type arrow here. Select this. Let's give it some space. Let's do like 10. Let's do this after. This is good. And then let's come to our style. Now let's take out the background color. So I want to make this transparent. How to make my text color. I have to inspect this. Let's exit this. Let's check the color. So I can copy this color here and then I can change my text color to this. Good. So now that I have my text color sorted, so now let's work with the font size. And then I can come down here, DM sans, it's 1820. Then the weight is 500. Good. So this is exactly what we need to do here. So now let's come back here. Let's close this up. Let's check this. This is DM sans 1626. 2028. So I think this is okay. So for our button here, I think we need to align this to the beginning. So let's come here and let's take out margin and padding. Okay, so we have our alignment issue sorted now here. So this is good. Let's come back and let's see. All right, I think this is exactly what we have here. This blog is not the same. This since we're not able to replicate this 2028, but man, this is just off. I just want to reduce this. All right, so we now have this 20. I think this is more like it. So what I can do is let's expand this to see what we have. Okay, so we have some. I'm going to play with some spacing here. It's okay. Just want to increase this somehow. All right, so I think we have that spacing there. So I might want to duplicate this. And then I can delete this. Okay, so let's see what we have. Something more like what we are expecting to have now, right? So now let's change the image here. Let's close this. So this is developer up. Copy this. Let's just exit this font. I'm gonna change this image to as well. All right, developer up is here. So now let's change our image. Let's bring in this, and then let's change our text to as well. So browse resources is our link text here. So now we've been able to replicate this. So what we can do to have the next, because if you come down here, you can see that we have this other tool here. But just because we have this container add more to the right, the arrow goes to the right, we can add. So what we can do is to duplicate the entire container. So let's duplicate this. So we have another one here. So what we would do in this case here is for us to delete this text since we don't want it. Delete this. All right. So we can walk around this. We can take this out. All right. So now we can, you see, we have this now complete here. So we can now change this to whatever we have here. So we have tutorials and courses. Copy this. All right, so if you come back here too as well, you will see that, so when we hover around this button, we can see that it is now underlined. This will have been easier for us to replicate if we have Elementor Pro, and with a few CSS here and there, we should be able to achieve this. But there's no way we can style this particular button separately because we can't use, apparently, you can see that we need to upgrade right now for us to, if you come to style and then want to maybe add any CSS, or maybe to advance, or okay, so if you want to add custom CSS, you see that we will need to upgrade to Elementor Pro. So that is another limitation that we get using the free version. So we will not be able to have that effect on our button. But by and large, we are done with this section here, and I think this is pretty much cool. Exactly what we have here. Maybe we need to tone this down a little. Maybe some padding here and there should be able to reduce this a little for us. So let's come to the container here, and maybe we can come to the padding here. I might just want to do maybe 30 to tone this down a little, and I think that's good. I can come down here too as well and do my padding 30. That gives it that reduce the tone a little to make it a little bit smaller, and I think that's good. So I think we've got this here. So what's the next thing we have? The next thing we have is a testimonial similar to what we have earlier. So we're just going to do a copy and paste to solve that, and then we're going to change the color. That's a no-brainer, right? So that's super simple to do. So let's just copy this, and let's come down here, and then let's paste that here. Let's change this image first off to the other image. This is all right. So we can come down here, we can copy this text, change that here. We may need to change the style of the text because this is a little bit much, so I think the sizes are a little bit different. So let's copy this, let's come back here, let's change this, and also these two as well. Good. And let's find the color for this background. Let's copy this. This is it. This. Let's come back here. Let's come to our container here, and let's come to style. Let's change this color. All right. So you can see here, this should be black. So let's come here. 2842. I'm not sure I want to really start messing around with this, but 2842 is good. So now let's come to black. Let's just make all of this black. These two as well. Got this sorted too as well. So you can see, I think this is getting, we need to add some padding here to solve for that problem. But that's not much of a big deal. So come down here. So we can leave this, but you get the idea. This should solve our problem. So I need to add like some spacing here and some spacing here before we come to the next element here. Okay, so let's do that. So for our top here, let's just do like 80, and then bottom, let's do another 80. Let's leave it this way. And then let's come to the next thing here, image here, and then a text and a button here. Okay. Also able to do that, let's just copy something here so that we can use this as a template. So let's copy this and let's bring that here. Let's paste that here. Good. So now let's come here. So this says community. Let's copy this. So change this to community. I'm not sure I'm going to style this. I'm just going to keep using whatever style we have here, but we get the idea. I don't want to waste time. This is becoming pretty long. So I'm going to copy this. I think we already have a button like that before, so let's copy that too as well. So something like this. So let's copy this and let's paste that here. So our button here says check out our community. So we can copy this and paste that here. Bingo. So we have that replicated. So what we want to do, oh, this is not supposed to be here. Sorry, I make a mistake. So I can just literally just copy this and then delete this, and then let's paste that here. All right, good. So now we can delete this. Don't need this here. We can also delete this as well. So we want to now work with an image here. So let's bring in an image. Search for that image. This is the image here. So we have this image here. We may need to style this image so that we don't have something this entirely big. So let's come down here and let's see what we have. Let's close this. So you see, we have an SVG that is shaking here. Unfortunately, this SVG is something premium to as well. There's no way we are able to copy this SVG except we want to copy the code, but that doesn't really make sense. So let's leave that as is. Let's just try to see what we can do to reduce the size of this image, and then we can work with a counter. So for this here, maybe 75% width is good for this image, and that's it. So let's see. That's a little bit small there. All right, so let's check this right now. So this is somewhere there, right? Which is good. Also, what we want to do for this is for us to align our text to the center. That's very important. This is aligned to the top here. So let's correct this center. So that's it. So this is good. Yeah. So now let's continue, and then we have this counter here. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. That's fine. So let's come back here. Let's just give ourselves margin. Let's do 100 bottom, and then we can create something new. We can make this full width, and then we can add new containers. Okay, let's bring in another container here, and then let's duplicate this. Good. So now let's look for the best elements that can help us. Let's close our pro element. We're not using this. 1, 2, 3 counter should help us for this. Let's bring that here so you can see. And then this is 15 million plus on this website here. Let's copy this. 15 million plus. So for this should end 15. So for the suffix, we can just say M, and then we can type in our plus, right? And then for our text here, we can change our text. So now we can style this. This is a custom front as usual, 1624. So we are just going to use the same font we've been using for this. For this, now we can begin to duplicate this. So let's duplicate this. There's one more. I think it's 5. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4. So this is 143K. Let's copy this. So we're deleting one of this. One, 4, 3. Change this to K plus. And then we can copy this. Right. So next one says 400 plus meetup events. So let's copy this. This 400. Take away the M. And then we can come back here. 330 plus. So I can copy this. $330, and I take away the M. This is here. All right, so let's see what this look like. Okay. This is full width. We need some spacing here and here. Let's close this. And some spacing here too as well. Let's come back. Let's see what we can do with that. So for this, I think I shouldn't have even made this full width in the beginning. Maybe this should have just been good as boxed. Yeah. So let's check what we have right now in terms of spacing. I think this is fantastic. So this is the only one here that is not aligning well. Come back here, meetup event. I can just easily add break to that myself. That's easy. So let's come to this here. Can just add a code function. So you can copy the same thing and just write PR. That should break that. Right. So okay, for us to be able to add this spacing here, maybe we might just want to play with the line height to our favor. Line height here says 79. Maybe we should increase that, something like this, to 100. So I think that gives us a little bit more spacing here, which is good. So we can do the same thing for the rest too as well. Let's come to typography. Let's come to line height here. Let's do 100. Good. So I think this just needs some creativity here and there. So let's add this to 100. All right. So I think we now have this perfect. I don't know why this is not displaying, but I think maybe that's network. That should display eventually. So now we need to add some spacing up and down, and then we have to come back here. This looks so simple. Might be a little bit tricky for us, a little bit dirty for us to get this done here, but let's see what we can do. Okay, so let's come back here. Top, let's do 100. Bottom, let's do 100. Good. I might have added lot of. Okay, I did 1000. 100. Good. So let's add something entirely new. Let's come like this. For the purpose of this example, for this so now for the purpose of this example, I will change the direction of this element from right to left. I want this to go left because I want this element here to display over this. So I want this to be the first while all of this come over this. It's a little bit subtle, but just watch and let's see. It's gonna be a little bit raw for us to be able to achieve that. Hopefully, I hope I'll be able to. So let's do full width for this. Now let's bring in our containers into this. So we are gonna be doing 3 containers. So let's do this. So I would duplicate this, and then I would duplicate these 2 as well. So this container here, I think this needs a lot of space. Something like this. I can still drag maybe this, something like this as well, and then maybe something like this. Okay, so here for this container, I will just make this image the background. Instead of setting an image, I'll just make it the background so that it can take the entire screen. So now let's come back here and let's come to style. Let's come to our background. Let's image, and let's bring in that image. This something like this. I think we need to check this image itself. So the size is the height here is 678. So I think we should make the container that height to as well, 678. So let's come to the front end. Let's make the minimum height 678 so that we can have the entire image here. This is good for us to start. Now let's come to the next element here. So let's design this container here. It has a custom header, text, and a button here. So now let's do a container. Let's just come back here. Let's get the color of this container and let's come to color. Let's get this. Let's copy this. Let's come back here. Yeah, so good. We have this here. So now I think maybe we should just we should try to copy and paste our text here and there. So for this text here, let's copy this. Let's paste that here. Let's paste again. I think we have this button here. Let's copy this. Let's paste that here too as well. Good. So now let's come back here. Let's close this. Let's copy this. Let's open this up. Let's see what we have. Okay, so we're getting there. So we need to add some padding, or margin to this. So now let's come to this. So let's do some margin. Let's do like 40 or around. Let's see if that will be good. Okay. Let's open this up. This is not too good, so let's adjust this. So let's do top, let's do 50. Bottom, let's do 50. Right, let's do 80. and left, let's do 80. So now let's check this out. Okay, so this is still not aligning well, but it's fine. But at least we have the space that we want to have around it. So I think for this we might need to change this width for this container a little more first. Make it 60 so I can make it a little bigger. Let's open that up. Okay, so you see this is somewhere close to what exactly we want this to look like. So now let's now come back here to this one here, and let's come to advanced, let's come to position, and let's make this absolute. So once this is absolute, it means that we can drag this to the side or to the left. You can see maybe somewhere to the center like this. And then we can also increase the offset or reduce the offset vertically and horizontally. So somewhere down or up would do, maybe somewhere like this. Right? I think this is good. So let's open this up to see exactly what we have. So you can see this is super clean and good. So right now, let's do the same thing that we have for this here. So what I can do for this is for me to copy this container here. So let's copy this and let's paste that here. Good. So we can now change the text. So we can change this. All right, so let's see what we have first before we adjust this. So you can see this now looks a little bit smaller because the text is smaller. But ideally here, you can see that this one has a little bit longer height. So it means that we have to increase the spacing between this and this so that we can have the same effect here for the height as well. So that's exactly what we are going to do. So for this right now, I might just add some spacing to this. The bottom, I might just do maybe 60 or maybe let's do 80. Oh. So we have that same little effect there. Isn't this cool and beautiful? So you can rework this so you can see. I think we need to make this a little bit wider so that we can have this title in one space. This is in 3. So you have to make this a little wider and then give this a little bit more spacing here. So for this one, let's come to the offset. I might want to reduce this a little to give this a little bit of spacing, since we have more spacing there. So let's come to the main container and let's see if we can increase the width of this. All right, something like this. Let's see if that would improve that. All right, this is perfect. So this still has the little height. You can increase the height a little more, but this is not even still showing on one line, but you can just increase the padding to have that effect. So I might still maybe increase the width a little more. Till I find the perfect balance for what I want. So you can see this is now too big. So you just keep playing and keep playing around. So I might use this to Let's just increase this to maybe 30. So let's see what 30 would give us. Good. It's now on the same line, but the height is still not there. So I might just want to add more spacing to this so that I get that little effect. So I come down here and then I can come back to this now. So I had 80 at the bottom. Maybe at the top I can do like 20 and then change this to like 90 to have that little effect. Something like this. So now you can see we have this height here, this here. So this is cool, but there's something still left. So if you come back here, so you can see that I have this text here. It's not difficult for us to bring that text since we have these two containers here. So if I want to bring in the text here, it will just align with this container, and this is not good for us. So for us to be able to bring in that text, what our advice we do is just for us to open this and then create a new container, maybe somewhere down like this is good. And then let's copy this text here and then let's paste that here, right? So let's come here, let's copy this and then let's paste that here. So for this container right now, so let's just come down and let's do a bottom. Let's just do like minus 200. That's too much. Let's do 150. That's too much still. Let's do minus 100. It's good enough. So let's open this up and let's see what we have. So this is good. You may want to align this maybe to start at a particular place, maybe at the beginning, something like this. That's literally up to you, but this is exactly how to do this. For us to do that, we may just want to maybe make this full width. So from the left, we might just want to do maybe another 80. Let's check this out and let's see what we have. Still not good enough, so we might just want to maybe do 180. Maybe that's too much. Let's just do 150. Something like that. So let's open this up. Bingo. That's it. So this is good. This video is pretty much long. I think this is the last thing we want to do here, and this is pretty much good. I am exhausted already. Okay, so now let's see what we can do with that image. So we may just want to possibly just copy and paste this. So let's copy this and let's paste that here. So let's come and let's copy the background color for this. So let's set this first. Let's come to a color. Pick this color here. I'll copy this and then I'll come back here. Come to my style. Good. So this image here, let's look. I hope I have that image. I think this is the image here. I'm gonna bring this and then we will make this 100% and then we're gonna increase width for this. It's good. So we have some padding here, so let's add some padding to this container. Let's come to advanced. Let's just do like 200. Let's do like 100. I hope that's not too much. Let's see. I think this is perfect. So now let's change the text. Meet Elementor Lives Editor. I'm gonna take this out so we don't have this again. So come down here. Let's copy this text. Paste that here. So let's come to copy this button here. Good. So perfect. Now we literally are done designing this page. So we have this space here that we want to take out. So we're going to set the margin for this to 0 at the bottom. So that should close up that space. So let's open this. So this is perfect. All right. Finally, I think we can say we are done cloning this page, and this is good so far. So far, so good. So this is Elementor. Apart from this here, I need to add some margin as well and reduce the size and margin and padding to these two. Okay, so let's update this page. And then let's come back to our home page here and let's refresh this. So let's scroll down. See, this video is playing here. Super cool, super nice. See how very beautiful. See, we have this here. Super cool. This is Elementor landing page here. How amazing is this? So we still have a little bit of work to do with our header and our footer. So for this, I want to add some margin and some of the spacing here. This is tool. This is the spacing here is too much, and then margin at the left. And for our header, we want our header to take this picture here, take this image or take this color here as well. So let's go to our dashboard. Let's come to appearance. Let's come to header, footer. So let's come first to let's work with our header first. Let's edit this Elementor in a new tab. All right. So for us to be able to achieve that, so let's come to the main container. I know I did told you that the height for this is 80. So we're going to come to advanced. So we're going to play with our margin. So for bottom here, we're just going to do minus 80. Make sure it's the same size you set as the height for the element or the container rather. So let's update this. Let's come to our home page. Let's see if that will solve for this problem. So you can see that has done. Unfortunately, I'm seeing a little bit of white here. I really don't know why that is, but we can just increase that to, let's just say 90. And then let's update our page. Let's come back here and let's refresh this. Good. That has covered for that. So we now have this. You can change the text like I did told you, change the styling for the menu and all of that. And also this logo here is a little bit big. So you may want to possibly maybe reduce the size for that. Something smaller. Whatever works for you. I'll update that, but you can style your menu, your page, however you want to. That's literally up to you. So I'll close this right now. I think I'm done with the header. I refresh this and let's see what we have. So you can see this is not aligning properly anymore. So you need to work with that. Trying to align your website. So you need to adjust this to the center so that For the menu here, I think there's a place to set our menu height so that our menu can come up a little. So I think that's it for this. And then let's come to our footer. Let's see if we can add some. Did this new tab as well. First off, let's work with the height we have here. This height is crazy. So far, vertical padding, let's increase this to 10. Let me see what that would look like. I think that's too much. So let's increase this to like 12. See what that looks like. I think this is good. That should be okay. So now let's come back here. Let's do that for all of the menu. Vertical padding, this would be 12. Right, this is good now. So for top, let's do 100. So for the right, let's do 60. For the left, let's do 60. So let's see what we have. So this is perfect. Now let's update our footer. Let's check our page now. Let's see what we have. Bingo. So we have Elementor landing page here, fully cloned into our website. How super amazing is this? So literally exhausted right now, so I just tried everything possible to see that I do this live on this video. Like I said earlier, I would be working more with Elementor Pro to see how you can work with more than a page. Man, that will be a very, very long tutorial. I hope I will not be too much. I hope I will not be too lazy not to do that tutorial. If you want to do that tutorial, let me know in the comment section. Thank you for spending this long time with me. If you find value for your time, give me a thumbs up. Share this video with friends. I'll see you in another video, and until then, stay safe. Bye for now.